Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Questions and Answers in Social Media Marketing, hosted by yours truly, Austin Mayer, with Socio Central. So, I've been asked this a few times actually about Google Plus, and Google Plus is a great social network. It's very user friendly. It's got a lot of people in it, despite what some people claim. I've heard some people say it's a ghost town, but it really depends on who you have in your circles. You have to spend time in here to actually start seeing stuff to be able to consume it. So, really, I want to talk about a few things today. We're going to get into filter bubbles and by Eli Parisser. We're going to talk about why marketers are joining Google Plus, and we're going to talk about a couple of people who are using Google Plus exclusively and pushing down their priorities in Twitter and Facebook and engaging in those. It's kind of an interesting lifestyle, if you will, online, but the interface is very clean. Up in the top left, you have your home button, which shows the stream of the people that you're following. So you see here I have friends, acquaintances. Social media is where I spend most of my time, but as you can see, I like cars as well. So um, you can also share circles. So entire circles can be shared out, and then you can add an entire circle. There doesn't seem to be a limit on Google Plus for the number of people you can add to your circles. Um, Google, I guess, sees this as a very open ecosystem where you can just, you know, pull in contacts and take out contacts, and they're not going to put a cap on it. You can see very, very rich multimedia here. This is the photo section. I clicked on photos from your circles. So this is all the people within my circles. If you go back up into the left-hand navigation, you can see these are my circles here. And it's the same with any other network. You know, the more time you spend on it, the more successful you'll be. So, I mean, just as a matter of fact, it's pretty straightforward just in terms of the number of people who will have you in their circles. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get there, but you'll get used to it. Let's move on to really what I want to kind of the meat and heart of this. It's filter bubbles. So when you're in Google Plus, your SEO for your website is going to significantly change more. The reason for that is if I'm in Google here and I search something like social media, the results that you see are going to be on your stream from your circles. Now, let's go and search Google. Okay, and I say social media. Okay, now what you're going to end up seeing up here is it's the results as you see here, Laura Norvig, right? And Drew Olenoff, okay? I think the next web, Drew's with the next web, but as you come down here, you'll notice that the results are severely affected by Google Plus, right there, okay? And so if you're not signed into Google Plus, your results are going to be entirely different. Your results are going to be much more general because you're a general user coming to Google, searching it out. And so you really want to join Google because of this reason, just simply because of SEO. Now, in terms of engagement, the engagement on Google Plus is very, very high, I'm finding. If I go and click on social media here, uh, as I go down the stream, you see somebody, as I mentioned earlier, you can share an entire circle, but that's what Kapil has done. He's shared a social media website pages circle. As you go down your stream, you'll notice more and more engagement. And I'm finding this. There's more engagement on Google Plus than there is on Facebook. Not to take anything away from Facebook because timeline is great. I like it, but in the Google Plus stream, there just seems to be more plus two, so you can see plus two, which is the equivalent of a like, and there's more comments. So really, again, it just comes down to how much time you spend on here. Yes, the ecosystem is filled with early adopters and photographers and techie people, but because of the numbers in here, It's the same thing when Facebook was, growing rapidly. You're sitting at a table with a bunch of your friends, and one friend says, "Oh, they are not on Facebook," and everybody kind of looks at them with an odd look, because it's just everybody's so used to every one of their friends being on Facebook. And the same thing is going to happen with Google Plus. People are going to join Google Plus more and more to the point where it might seem a little strange that you're not on there. So here I am just kind of scrolling through my stream, and one of the things that you'll notice is every now and then you'll see what's hot. I don't see one yet, but this is just something that's kind of injected into your stream that is trending, if you will. Um, Eli Parisser, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He talked about filter bubbles. So as I mentioned before, this is about the website that you're using will filter out information based on their algorithms. And this is specific to Google. As I mentioned, when you search something on Google and you're signed in to Google Plus, your results are going to be entirely different. Now, why are marketers joining Google Plus? Well, Social Media Examiner had an interesting article a few days ago on March 16th. I will be sharing all these links in the description of the YouTube video, so just click over there if you're interested in getting any of these links. For example, Eli Parisser's video and Social Media Examiner's article. Um, so this was an interesting article because it really kind of focuses on Guy Kawasaki and selling his books. I mean, we all got to make money, right? But I'm going to talk a little bit more about Guy Kawasaki in a second, but this it's a nice little outline, and Guy talks a few reasons as to why you should join Google Plus. So check out that article. And I'll also point out that Guy Kawasaki is, for the most part, using Google Plus exclusively. He's still on Twitter. I mean, I know he thinks his Twitter account is, he can't kind of live without it. He can live without a cell phone, though, apparently. But despite the fact that Twitter's so powerful, he's using Google Plus more and more. And really, there's a reason for that. You have this early adopter mentality. You have tech-savvy people. You have um, photographers on there. It really comes down to who your audience is, of course. The challenge is figuring out who your audience is, actually. But in any case, there's various ways to do that. You can feel free to contact me if you need a hand in that. So, Guy Kawasaki, interesting guy. He worked for Steve Jobs. He's written several books, including one of which is called Enchantment, and his latest is called What the Plus. This is him in an interview by J.W. Najarian on YouTube. And, essentially, he's just an interesting guy. He's great at branding. He's great at marketing. And the fact that he worked for Apple means, he's got a lot of influence out there. This is another fellow who's using Google Plus exclusively. His name's Mike Elgin. He's a technology writer, for one of which is Computer World. Over on the About Us, you know what? Let's just kind of quickly go through this here. I'll just quickly go through my profile. So in my circles, you see my circles here, the people that I've put into my circles. In the perspective of others, they have added me to their circles, so you can see that section there. Now, if I click on About, you can see these are very easy to edit. And again, you just click on here. Google Plus is very easy to use, very user-friendly. Just click on Edit Profile, and you can edit any of these fields. These are custom links that you can add. So I've titled these myself and put in the links personally. And what it'll do is it'll automatically find the favicon or the icon of the website that you're entering. So that's a nice little feature. But one of the things you want to keep in mind as well is just a little tip for you users out there on Google+. The employment field is what appears when you hover over a contact's name. So make sure you fill that out. If I hover over your name and I just see your name, I might not even circle you. So if you fill out your employment field will show up when I hover over your name, and you can really kind of personalize that and make it special in a way. Up in the left-hand navigation, there's games. I don't really use that as much. I think Google is really trying to act similarly to Facebook and Zynga's relationship, where Zynga has pumped out really seriously successful games like Mafia Wars and, uh, of course, Farmville and all those. So they're really trying to, I think, copy that. But yeah, so that's essentially Google Plus. Another big key component here is Google is focusing on Google Plus because they want to make it a web property wide system where they want people to spend all their time on Google Plus, but then at the top here you see Maps, you see YouTube, you see Gmail. If you click on more, you see Reader. Now these have already been there. They've been there for quite a while. But what's changed is they've added YouTube and they've added a couple other of these like calendar documents, Gmail. These are all links that will appear now when you sign in because they're trying to get more traffic across all their web properties. Makes sense to me. It's a smart move. It's kind of like having your navigation buttons on your website. This way, it's much more integrative to Google's massive, massive presence online. So we talked a bit about Eli parsers, filter bubbles. Again, you go into Facebook, you search something, and you are at the whim of Facebook's algorithms. We talked a little bit about why marketers are joining Google Plus, and then we talked about Guy Kawasaki and Mike Elgin. It's respectable. I mean, I respect somebody who says, you know what, I'm just going to dedicate myself to this platform. Not a lot of people do that. I mean, that's relatively risky, but if you know who your audience is and if you're getting success, it's not that risky because I mean, again, you want to install your analytics. I've said this time and time again. Install your analytics on your website and you can see who is coming and where they're coming from. Not personally who it is, but more importantly, you get a kind of an overall view of demographics and what country they're coming from. And you can get referral information as well. So what websites they're coming from, namely Google. So that concludes another episode of Questions and Answers in Social Media. Thanks very much for joining me. My name is Austin Mayer. I design strategies for companies in social media, and that includes training as well. My company name is Socio Central, and you can find the first social media database at sociocentral.com. If you have any other questions for future episodes, feel free to ask, and you just write those questions on my Facebook wall at facebook.com/sociocentral. Thanks very much, and have yourselves a great day.